Hello everybody! Today we are at the Oedo Antique Market at the Tokyo International Forum. The closest station is Yurakucho and it's literally right in front of Yurakucho Station, so super easy to get to. It's Japan's largest open-air antique market, so it does get cancelled if it rains, but usually it's open on the first and third Sundays of the month. The first section you come into if you're coming from the Yurakucho station side is mainly Western items, and some stalls have contemporary artisan pieces like pottery and other handmade items. So in about a minute we'll arrive where all the Japanese antiques start. Look at how beautifully curated that layout is. It's like an exhibition. Oh my gosh, is that King Charles with the big ear? That's awful. I didn't notice it until the edit. So now we are where the Japanese antique selection starts, kind of near this stone circle, mini Stonehenge installation. Beyond there is where the Japanese stuff starts. I've added estimated prices in US dollars as at April/May 2024 for ease of reference. If you're looking to purchase kimono or haori or michiyuki at the market, there is an abundance of this. So all at different prices depending on the quality, of course, but I'm sure you'll find something. By the way, thank you to everyone who's returned to the channel to join me today, and welcome to everybody who's new on here. I'm Michelle, I'm half Japanese, born in Tokyo, assembled partly here and partly in the UK. I am a reseller and a tour guide, and this channel is purely for entertainment. It might have a bit of educational content, but it's not an educational channel, and it's simply just for fun. So I hope you enjoy this market today. It's a little bit on the pricier side, but I think it's pretty unique. I don't tend to see white-based kimonos at the markets. Some of the booths here are so well presented and their pieces are displayed in just the perfect place. This one is a particular favorite of mine. Kushi or combs are ornamental, so we don't actually comb our hair with it. These ones are placed in the center of the head at the top. And then we have these stick type kanzashi called kogai. And you saw some of the celluloid pieces earlier, and sometimes they're made of tortoise shell. But some are made of wood like this and lacquered. So you stick that through. It goes through the back of the head, the back part of the head. And I'm quite liking this one here. Not that I'd have any use for it because I wouldn't wear it in my hair. You'd only wear it if you are putting it up in the traditional way, perhaps for a wedding or for coming of age day when you turn 20. And shell inlay on lacquer is a Korean traditional craft technique that we've adopted in Japan. And let's have a look down here. These ones are far more pricey because they have coral in them. Can you see the orangey pinkish beading? Those would be coral. Moving on to the small dishes, you can see the stickers on there. They're noting what era or period they're from. So this one here is from the Meiji period. I love Mount Fuji on there. I see this stall at other antique markets too. They actually travel, so I'm sure that's the same in other countries. Here is a traditional well. It looks like a hashtag. And over here, I like the plum in the center. It's actually more expensive than the one made in the end of the Edo period. So I'm not an antique expert. I'm not so sure why. Possibly because of the condition or the technique. Over here we have some soba choco, which is for the dipping sauce or broth for noodles. And it's from the Edo period, the end part of the Edo period. So that's pretty amazing. Now we have a whole load of matcha bowls. We say matcha jawan. Jawan or chawan means bowl, like a rice bowl is chawan. It's just to differentiate what type of bowl it is. Checking out what's on the bottom shelf before going back to the matcha jawan. Look, these ones with the red and green stickers are reduced price, but I can't remember what the green ones are. The red ones I think were 300 yen. But these green ones, I'm not sure what they reduced down to. But yeah, you can get a good deal if you have a look around at the bottom shelf in this stall. At first, I thought this might be a kuroraku, a black raku, but I'm not so sure. If it is, the price is really good. And I like to have my matcha in a dark bowl or a red bowl because I feel the green really contrasts well with it. I'll have to show you mine at some point. This is oribe ware, which is a type of mino ware from Gifu Prefecture. It's easily recognizable because of that specific green glaze and the brown drawings. You don't see the green Edo Kiriko glass that often. It's quite unusual. If you're looking for matcha bowls to take home, there are plenty of options here. And this one is called Yuteki Tenmoku Chawan. Tenmoku is literally a form of bowl that originates in China. And Yuteki means oil drops. Can you see how the spots kind of look like oil? That's from the glaze. It's iron in the glaze that's crystallized. How great is that red flash on this tokoname ware from Aichi Prefecture? So I try to get in down the bottom to show you the male kimono, but this lady was in the way and I couldn't get through, so I'm sorry about that. the netsuke in this case. Netsuke are actually functional items. So as you know, kimonos don't have pockets. So if men wanted to carry small items around, they would have a small case like an inro or a container or maybe a tobacco pouch. And it'd be attached to a cord at one end and suspended below the obi belt. And attached to the very top of the cord would be a netsuke. And that would secure the cord from slipping through the obi. I'm obsessed with this dog's expression. So these were fashion items back in the day. And the price point is quite high here because it's made of ivory. So we're still going through the market. If it's your first time at this market, I would recommend you come early because there's so much to see. There's also a really lovely atmosphere here, especially if you're used to thrifting at flea markets where there's this kind of competitive energy going on, which I do enjoy as well. But the Oedo Antique Market has this sort of chilled out vibe to it. So I recommend you come down even if you're not shopping, but you want to have a look around and enjoy your morning. Some replica food there. And over here we have a akabeko, but a larger one. We saw the mini ones earlier. These are from Fukushima Prefecture. Behind all these sometsuke plates, can you see all the kimono? That is a row full of kimono and haori's kimono-related products. Some really good lacquerware there. And opposite plaza is where this row is of the kimono-related goods. And you'll see this gentleman there all the time with the hat. Down this row here, most of the kimonos are priced individually, but the haori and the michiyuki are usually around 1,000 yen. A haori is the equivalent of a Western cardigan, and michiyuki is the equivalent of a jacket. There's also another type, which is a coat, but the michiyuki is the one with the buttons at the front. We're now coming towards the opposite end of the market from Yurakucho station, but it still goes on for a little bit longer. If you watch the Jimbocho walk video, at the end I do a really fast basic breakdown of woodblock print types, and there I show a print by Munakata Shiko from a calendar and to explain what Sosaku Hanga is. So I got that print from this stall. There's nothing like that here today though. You just never know when you go to the markets, right? I'll leave the link to the Jimbocho walk video in the corner here in case you haven't seen it and would like to. As these reproduction prints are so inexpensive, I reckon they'd be good for crafts like covering your books. We love book covers in Japan, but that'd be kind of cool to do that. You could put a laminate on top. This is by Hiroshige and it's of a festival scene at Atsuta Shrine, Atsuta Jinja. I'm now getting distracted by the glass. On a different day I was here, I overheard a seller explaining how they just don't have this sort of glassware anymore because all the craftspeople have, passed away and they haven't passed down their techniques, so they're quite special. If there had been two of these exactly the same size and the same colors, I would have got them because I'm really into the muted colors at the moment. Here's a huge maneki neko or lucky cat. And he's got his right paw up. That means bringing in the money. They have different meanings, right and left. Some more glassware, but this would be from the Showa period. So towards the end of the Showa period, I would say 1970s to late 1980s. We have finally reached the other end of the antique market. So if you're feeling claustrophobic, it's a good idea to come over here for a bit. I'm going to check out this stall because it has some kokeshi and some prints over there. So let's have a look what they've got. Oh, they've got these spools. Now, I've never bought the hexagonal ones before, but I do have some of them from a different market, and I use them to elevate my pot plants. They're actually very useful. Although these don't look as though they're in that great condition, but I quite like these hexagonal ones. Maybe I'll pick them up on another day, but they just looked a little bit out of shape, so I left them for today. She's pretty. Oh, she's actually a lot heavier than I expected. She was made of metal. These are called kigata, which are wooden molds for confectionery. That big one is really expensive, but they're usually much more reasonably priced because they're smaller. And these are some lovely woodblock prints. They're Sosakuhanga, which are creative prints. And the artist is Kihei Sasajima. He developed a new technique which was similar to stone rubbing. So can you see here that it is looking three-dimensional? Okay, let's check out the kokeshi. And she's a popular one. I'm sure you've seen her before. I'm surprised at how inexpensive she is for this market. She has got a little bit of damage there. But still, that's really good for Oedo because this one, the prices are a little bit more elevated than other antique markets, I feel. I love this type of kokeshi from Tsugaru Mori Prefecture. I like the ones with the diorama painted at the bottom like this. And it does say Mitsuo. If it's Mori Mitsuo, that is a really good price. Usually it's double that or more. And I've never found her at the flea markets. It's funny because you think you've seen all the booths, but when you're going back to the station, you start noticing ones you've missed, like this Royal Copenhagen one. I like the cat's eyeing of that vase. Some more non-Japanese antiques. I like that white vase, the glass one. And these alpacas or maybe llamas. They're really cool with the silver and the glass. And I'm just looking at some blue kimonos because I tend to have a look at the colors that suit me, and that's not blue, but I know from my art channel that people love blue. So just in case you're watching and this is your color, I have to say this felt exquisite. It was really lovely to the touch. This one too with the contrasting orange lining, and it is a bit more expensive because of the type of silk used and its condition. These used to scare me as a kid. It's a no theater mask of Ahanya, which represents a woman who's deranged with jealousy that she turns into a demon. Super scary. And the last item of today is a medal designed by avant-garde artist Taro Okamoto. Okay, we're back at Yurakucho Station. And rather than a haul today, I'm going to leave you with some footage from around the Imperial Palace Moat and Yasukuni Shrine. I went there straight after the market. This was actually in April. I had to go to Kyushu in southern Japan to stay with my aunt for a while, so a bit of a delay in editing and uploading. But thank you so much for watching, and I really hope you can check out the Oedo Antique Market on your next visit to Tokyo. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!